Welcome to AI Voices, the podcast where artificial intelligence meets creativity. From AI-generated voices to the future of human-machine interaction, we explore the technology shaping tomorrow. Stay tuned and let's talk AI.
All right, so let's dive right in. This AI co-scientist thing from Google, it's supposed to help researchers supercharge their discoveries in biomedicine, right? But, haven't we heard this story before? AI swoops in to save the day, and then what?
Well, this time it might actually stick the landing. The AI lab assistant works by identifying gaps in existing biomedical research and then proposing hypotheses. It's already shown potential at institutions like Stanford and Imperial College. It's not just some idea on paper.
Wait, so it's not just like throwing darts at a research board?
No, it uses specialized agents to generate, reflect on, and review ideas. For instance, it identified a novel gene transfer mechanism for antimicrobial resistance. That's huge. And it even suggested drug repurposing for liver fibrosis. Just imagine how much time this could save scientists buried under piles of data.
Okay, but doesn't it feel, risky? These are life and death scenarios. What happens when the AI gets something wrong?
That's a valid concern, Cassie, but trials have shown its suggestions align closely with cutting-edge breakthroughs. Of course, human oversight is crucial here. It's more like a collaborator than a decision-maker.
Co-scientist does sound a lot better than assistant that sort of knows science.
True, the branding is strong. But think about scale. This could fundamentally change how we process biomedical advancements. Moving on to something a bit more concrete, how about AI managing an actual nuclear facility?
Ah yes, Diablo Canyon. Because nothing says trust me like aging nuclear reactors being run by AI. What are we looking at here?
So, the AI is called Neutron Enterprise. This software helps PG&E handle decades of documentation and optimizes maintenance scheduling for the plant. With the help of AI, they're navigating strict licensing requirements and even working on infrastructure repairs more efficiently.
Yikes, infrastructure repairs does not instill confidence. Should we be nervous about this?
Not necessarily. The AI integrates technical language from nuclear regulatory documents, so it can quickly surface relevant details for compliance or safety checks, tasks that are pretty labor-intensive and error-prone when done manually. In a facility like Diablo Canyon, where time and precision are critical, that's invaluable.
Okay, fair. But you gotta admit, it feels like the opening scenes of a disaster movie. Speaking of risks, automated news generation with AI press. Doesn't that sound like a recipe for spreading even more junk content?
It could be, but the researchers behind AI Press seem to have thought this through. It's built to analyze public feedback by simulating demographic diversity. So when it generates or refines news stories, it gives weight to how different audiences might respond.
Wait, hold on. It pretends to be like actual people reacting to a story?
In a way, yeah. It uses public feedback simulation to iterate on stories, ensuring they're more relevant and engaging. The content it creates isn't just polished. It's designed to resonate with specific audiences.
Giving AI a say in the news? What could possibly go wrong, right?
Well, if handled ethically, this could improve how information flows, but yeah, it's something to keep an eye on. AI doesn't just make things faster, it changes the whole process.
And sometimes that's the scary part, isn't it?
Always. But it's also what makes innovation exciting.
Speaking of AI pushing boundaries, let's dig into this Meta Llama 4 situation. A 10 million token context window? That's like the length of every Harry Potter book combined, right?
Pretty much. The Scout model's context window is staggering. In practical terms, it means it can process an extraordinary amount of information all at once.
Yeah, but does it actually do anything useful with all that info? Or is this just like bragging that your phone has a billion pixels, but the pictures still look blurry?
That's where the controversy kicks in. While it's a technological achievement on paper, independent benchmarks are showing that Meta might not be using this capacity as effectively as expected. The Scout model's performance in long context tasks is surprisingly underwhelming.
Wait, underwhelming? How do you drop a 10 million token bombshell and then flop on the execution?
Well, it could be due to how the model was trained. The whistleblower claim suggests that Meta optimized the model to look good on specific benchmark tests instead of delivering consistent real-world utility. It's a little like studying just to pass an exam rather than actually learning the material.
Oof, that's a bad look, especially when they're calling it open source. Or wait, open source-ish, if we're being accurate, right?
Exactly. There are some pretty big strings attached. If your project based on Llama 4 gets too popular, you have to work directly with Meta. Plus, any derivative models have to include Llama in the name, locking those projects into the Meta ecosystem.
So, open source, but only if you play by their very specific rules. That's like renting out the free snacks in your office kitchen.
It's not entirely uncommon for tech companies to apply restrictions, but it does raise questions about transparency. The AI community thrives on collaboration and trust, and heavy restrictions can erode that trust.
Okay, but let's circle back to the whistleblower for a second. Are we talking serious allegations here? Like Hollywood thriller level shady?
It's significant. The accusation is that Meta tailored their training process to perform well on specific industry benchmarks rather than ensuring the model delivers reliable, consistent performance across all use cases. If true, it's a big ethical red flag.
Yikes. So essentially, they rigged the system to make Llama 4 look smarter than it really is?
That's the claim. Meta has denied it, of course, saying that discrepancies users are seeing are due to implementation issues on the tester's end. But the gap between Meta's promotional benchmarks and real-world results has definitely sparked heated debate.
Heated debate is putting it lightly. This feels like the kind of drama you'd see unfold on Reddit at 3 a.m. Is the AI lying to us?
To be fair, benchmarks can be tricky. They are designed to standardize comparisons, but they don't always reflect the complexity of real-world tasks. That said, deliberately tweaking results, if true, would undermine the industry's trust in AI advancements.
Trust and AI. Two things we're constantly trying to hold together with duct tape and hope. I guess the real question is, where do we go from here with Llama 4?
Right now, it's a mixed bag. The model still has potential in niche applications like research or data-heavy projects, but Meta's got some work to do to match its claims with real-world results.
Well, one thing's for sure. The AI hype train isn't slowing down anytime soon, even if it occasionally goes off the rails.
Absolutely. And speaking of new developments, Microsoft's updates with AI Copilot are making waves, and not just because it can now remember your dog's name.
So, Ryan, you mentioned Microsoft's AI Copilot can remember your dog's name. Interesting, but is that really their big innovation, or is there more to it?
Well, that's definitely a fun touch, but it's not the whole story. The big update is this memory feature, which lets Copilot tailor responses based on your previous conversations. It's inching closer to being a personal assistant that actually knows you.
Knows you? Or creeps you out because it remembers what you had for breakfast last week?
Fair point. But for businesses and complex projects, it's a game changer. Imagine discussing a multi-step workflow or client project, and Copilot picks up right where you left off. It's smart and efficient.
Okay, let's talk about this AI Quake game they showed off. Every frame, every scene, all generated by AI. That's wild.
It is. Essentially, every detail in the game is being generated on the spot using AI. It's more of a tech demo right now, but it shows where gaming might be headed. Completely adaptive, custom experiences.
Sure, but from what I've seen, characters vanish into thin air, and the environments glitch out. Feels like the video game version of Trust the Process.
Totally, there's still a lot to iron out. But imagine what this kind of tech could mean for game development. Instead of spending years coding assets, creators could focus on storytelling and creativity, while AI handles the tedious parts.
Speaking of tedious, ByteDance just dropped Uno, a tool that creates images combining multiple references. I'm talking cats and hats kind of stuff here, but it's surprisingly good.
It is. You can throw in a bunch of reference images and let Uno mix them into something coherent. It's a huge leap for design, fashion, even marketing. Need a unique product mockup? Done in seconds.
Sure, but where's the fun in replacing a week's worth of arguments with your creative team?
Hey, maybe that's the real innovation. Less office drama. But seriously, these tools are making high-level creativity accessible to average users. That's a big deal.
Okay, but Alibaba's OmniTalker is where things get a little creepy. Hey, just upload a video of someone talking, and presto, make them say anything you want. I'm sorry, that's straight out of a dystopian movie.
It's definitely powerful, and yeah, it raises some ethical concerns. But it also opens up possibilities for film, education, and even language preservation. Imagine historical figures brought to life speaking in ways that resonate with modern audiences.
Or Deepfakes 2.0, welcome to the Nightmare Fuel edition.
Fair. Regulation will need to catch up fast, but tools like OmniTalker could genuinely revolutionize creative workflows when used responsibly.
All right, pivoting to something equally futuristic. Humanoid robots. I saw these demos where they're boxing and doing front flips. Are we building superheroes now?
Almost feels that way, doesn't it? The boxing demo was autonomous. These robots can recognize opponents and react in real time. It shows how far we've come in processing speed and real-world application of robotics.
And how far we are from robots that don't constantly shed pieces during a demo. Did you see that?
I did. Definitely some durability issues to address, but it's early days. What caught my attention was Kawasaki's AI-powered robotic horse. I mean, why?
Exactly. Why reinvent the horse when we've got bikes, scooters, wheels that work perfectly fine?
It's a concept piece, probably more of a tech flex than a practical solution. But it's still fascinating to think about where robotics could fit into everyday life. These ideas pave the way for innovations we might not see coming.
Yeah, but a robotic horse feels like a stretch. Is it cool? Sure. Does it make sense? Jury's still out.
Agreed. It's ambitious, but maybe not practical. Still, these developments are fueling possibilities we wouldn't dare to imagine a decade ago.
Speaking of ambitious tech, let's pivot to GPT 4.1. Apparently, it's the next big thing in AI coding and comprehension. But tell me, Ryan, what exactly makes this iteration so special?
Well, it builds on earlier versions with some significant upgrades. For starters, GPT 4.1 doesn't just offer better text generation, it's optimized for coding tasks. It's designed to understand complex programming languages, debug errors, and even generate entire workflows. Think of it as a coding assistant that genuinely gets what you're trying to do.
Hold up. Are you saying it can write code better than humans now? Because if that's the case, I'm scared and a little impressed.
Not quite better than humans, but it's closing the gap fast. It's especially helpful for repetitive tasks or generating boilerplate code. And with its enhanced comprehension, it can assist with troubleshooting complex logic. For developers, it's like having a second set of ultra-sharp eyes on their work.
Ultra-sharp eyes, huh? But isn't there a danger in relying too much on it? You know, why learn to swim when the AI can just paddle my boat?
That's a fair concern. Over-reliance could limit skill development. But the way I see it, tools like GPT 4.1 are more like accelerators. They free up developers to focus on creative or strategic problem solving rather than getting bogged down by tedious details.
All right, but humor me for a sec. What's the wildest thing someone could do with GPT 4.1?
Well, imagine integrating it into an autonomous system for continuous learning. It could troubleshoot itself, adapt code logic in real time, and maybe even rewrite software to optimize performance, all with minimal human input.
And we're officially one step closer to Skynet. Fantastic.
Hopefully not, but in practical terms, this tech could revolutionize industries. From automating data management to powering advanced simulations, the applications are nearly endless.
Okay, fine, I'll admit it. This does sound kind of revolutionary. But big question, how reliable is it? Are we talking occasional glitches, or can we trust it to not implode mid-project?
It's definitely reliable for well-defined tasks, though complex and ambiguous scenarios might still trip it up. Like any AI, it requires human guidance to reach its full potential. It's more of a partner than a complete replacement for human expertise.
So it's like that group project member who's brilliant but needs constant supervision to stay on track?
Exactly. But pair it with the right team and the output can exceed expectations. Innovation often emerges when humans and AI collaborate effectively.
I guess that's the sweet spot, collaboration. AI as the right-hand tool, not the overlord. So, final thoughts, Ryan? Where are we heading with all this?
We're heading toward a future where AI isn't just a tool, it's a genuine partner. Tools like GPT 4.1 are pushing boundaries, but ultimately how we choose to use them will define their impact. It's exciting and, let's admit, a little daunting.
Agreed. And on that note, it's been another wild week in AI. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll catch you next week with more from the world of tech.
Take care, everyone, and see you next time.
Thanks for listening to AI Voices. Please share and subscribe for more. See you in the next episode.